Welcome to Crypto Invest TV tonight. I am your host, Underdoge, and I will be joined by X8. And tonight we're going to be talking about a couple of good topics. I think we'll start off with the El Salvador situation, if that's all right with you, Crypto, or X8, sorry. Um,
Yeah, that's just fine. I'll go ahead and I'll get that pulled up right now,
okay,
and
cool.
we can
I
kind
mean,
of
what
just go over it together.
Yeah, what they're doing is pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, it just seems like a very good thing. Actually, they're setting history as we speak right now. History in the whole entire world, which is good. Um, I think it's cool that smaller countries like this are stepping up and you know uh, taking the bull by the horns in a sense.
Right.
Uh, I have an article from. I was on Coinbase earlier and seen this article on Coinbase. Started reading a little bit about the El Salvador thing. Thought it was pretty cool what they're actually doing. Instead of using like normal electricity, they're doing what's that? Volcanic geothermal.
Yeah. So I was just gonna go ahead and read over this article right here. Over
Yeah.
here on the ZDNet. It's just a random article I pulled up that essentially will be talking about it, but. El Salvador has become the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, as President Nayib. Yeah. Well, their president wants to take this one step further, planning to create a 100% renewable crypto mining facility using volcanoes. With the bill's passage, Bitcoin will instantly be converted into USD and will have the same legal standing. Uh, Prices can now be displayed in Bitcoin. Merchants must accept payment in Bitcoin. Tax contributions can be paid in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin exchanges will no longer be subject to the country's capital gain tax. The state is under the obligation to promote the to promote and protect private enterprise, generating the necessary conditions to increase national wealth for the benefit of the greatest number of inhabitants. And the bill goes on to talk about that. But essentially, what I'm assuming is that they will be probably using some kind of geothermal, uh, you know, some kind of geothermal. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's geothermal the geothermal energy to produce for the mining. That's exactly what it's looking like here in this article too. It says, I'm only going to read a few excerpts out of it, but this is from what's his name, Nicholas Gans, and that's from Forbes.com, which I normally don't really go to Forbes.com for crypto news, but I had seen this article, and so I figured I'd read a couple excerpts from it. It says, the president mentioned that the country had plans unrelated to Bitcoin to expand infrastructure and stimulate development around the country's source of geothermal energy. And it goes on and says the country loses large amounts of this energy to oversupply or through transporting it to cities on the outskirts of the plants. He says we want to promote industrial parks where you can set up your factory and you will receive cheap, clean, renewable energy. So I think that's pretty cool. And, like it says right here, with the recent crackdown on coal powered Chinese miners, and the concerns from Tesla and others around Bitcoin's energy consumption, El Salvador could prove to be a more friendly location for operations from both a regulatory and an environmental stance. So I think what they're doing is actually pretty sweet. They're setting a new pace for the renewable energy field in Bitcoin. So I think that's actually pretty slick, man.
Oh yeah, most certainly. I think it's it's just going to show you that we're just one step closer for it all to continue going up from here. I mean, we go ahead and we look at Bitcoin right now. We look at where they were yesterday at 31,050, and then today they had they went all the way up to a high of from essentially that low right before midnight yesterday to today they hit a high of 37,000, nearly 38,000, and that's in light of the news that that's in light of the news of what happened over in El Salvador. And so you think about this, right? You think about this spike up from 31 all the way up to 37, right? You think about how this is day one of El Salvador having that as legal tender. So imagine when it actually starts to really get used as legal tender, because I think I heard somewhere about it was going to take about they had that businesses had like 90 days to basically get prepared for transactions in Bitcoin. And so imagine imagine where it's going to be next month when 20% of their population is using is starting to, or not necessarily 20% of their population, but 20% of the population that would have used Bitcoin will be using Bitcoin, and then it'll continue to expand until the whole, it's going to start in the regions, right? Regionally, everywhere it's going to be expanding. And so, after the 90 days, that's when we're going to end up seeing, you know, a lot more, more buying into Bitcoin, you know.
I agree 100%. And I mean, with this freaking spike that just happened in Bitcoin, I'm looking on Coinbase's graph right now for the 1 day, and when I'm looking at it, all I see on the very end of the tail after it drops down from 37,685 to 30 to what it is now 36,936. All I see is an upward tail there, and it doesn't look like it has any indications of coming down until you look at the hour. When you look at the hour, I see that we're seeing some people maybe taking some profits or something. Um, but at the same token, once El Salvador sets the pace for um, setting Bitcoin as a legal tender, I think other countries and even banking institutions and stuff like that are going to be preparing for Bitcoin to be a legal tender all across the globe. Um, because now they see El Salvador getting in on that, right? And everybody's going to want a piece of that pie. Except for it's going to take a long time for certain countries due to regulations and laws that they're going to try to pass on it, and so forth and so on. But I see Bitcoin coming back. I see it. I see maybe another upward spike here this before the end of the weekend, and we might see it hit 40 grand again.
Yeah, it just kind of depends. I think we have a new resistance at at between you know 37 and 38. It seems like if we go back, right? If we go back and we look over here, we see that we were having issues with trying to maintain above above 38 since, let's see, since the 4th. And then even then before that we only went above 38. Let's see, We only went above 38 on the second. Before that, the last time we were at 38,000 was on the 27th. So, I think 38 is going to be one of those resistance points, and then the next one's going to be 40, and then the next one's going to be 42, and then after 42, that's when we're going to. I think that's when we're going to end up seeing it end up spiking up more. Um,
Right. Back
sporadically. That's
back to
when you're
where
gonna. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna start seeing it. It'll jump essentially from 42 probably to 47, and then the next day it'll jump up to 54, and then it'll drop down to like 50, and then it'll go up to 52 again. And that's kind of what I'm guessing when that happens. That's where we're gonna be at, and then that's when the fight for 60K is gonna end up happening again. Or who knows, with this huge buy right here as I'm talking about, maybe they're going to try and break the 38 tonight and, just prove me wrong. That's generally what happens. I open my mouth about something and then usually the market ends up doing exactly the opposite. So you know what? Actually, everything's just going to go down, guys. Everything is going to go down. And then
No, let's not wish that it goes. Let's not say all that.
no, no, no. I'm
It may.
saying that because like
Uh,
every time that I say something,
so,
it does the exact opposite. So
so you're saying if you let that everything's going all down, you're praying that everything's gonna go up. All right, cool, gotcha. Got that. All right, so yeah, I guess according to X8, everything's gonna go down. Wink, wink. Yeah, that's a very good valid point, man. I see everything you're saying, and I just see nothing. Like I see obviously a bunch of people like taking some profits right there, where it dropped really heavy, and then obviously people are buying back in, so that's good. It's good to see that people are buying back into Bitcoin the way that maybe not the way that they were like a month ago, but it's good to see that people are reinvesting in Bitcoin, and I want to see Bitcoin succeed. Bitcoin is a very dominant cryptocurrency, and it's earned its place as number one. So I want to see it succeed, and seeing it down this low is just nothing but good opportunities to take a couple of dollars and put it into in there as well. Um,
let's go over here and see how Ethereum's been doing today.
that's you took the words right out of my freaking mouth. That's the first one I was getting ready to click on. Looking over here at the graph and stuff, and it's kind of down in the hour chart, but on the 1 day, it
Well, I'm
peaked
looking
at
from the 6
26.
to the to where we're at right now, and so it looks like we topped out at 28.48, and then we ended up
Okay,
going back down, and then we ended up bottoming out at 23.06.
yeah, I see that. I see that right there. Yeah, and I mean that's good though, because I think I was reading an article earlier, and I think we were talking about it right before we had decided to do this live. I was telling you about how Ethereum and Bitcoin transaction fees have dropped 95%.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
hearing about how there was something about Ethereum's, about the fees and things like that.
yeah, dude, the fees. I was reading an article. I'm not exactly 100% sure where I pulled that up at, so I think it was on a Google search. But it stated that due to the way the market's going, uh, it the transaction fees on Bitcoin and Ethereum have dropped 95% in the all-time highs. So, which is absolutely awesome to me, because that means that now Bitcoin is a cheaper coin to send at the moment. It's not as expensive as it was, and then also Ethereum. We all know that Ethereum's gas prices were astronomical. And so now that they're at a low, we're seeing a lot more people creating ERC20 projects, and a lot more ERC20 NFTs being sold, or Ethereum. NFTs being sold, which is awesome because for a minute there they were everybody was getting like unless you had some money in Ethereum, you weren't really spending money on stuff with Ethereum because of the gas fees. So it's good to see them down. People can invest a little bit more money and be able to use that Ethereum to buy stuff. So that's cool. And the Bitcoin too, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, and there was the whole thing about the whole Ethereum Doge, the Ethereum Doge, like
Ethereum, or you know what I'm saying, like the merging between the two. For some reason, I feel like that's like a repeat of some news that I heard a couple months ago. I heard that they were talking about that a couple months ago too. Like that's not new news to me, but it is new news. Because now it's making you know a little more racket than what it was. So, like I remember hearing something about that from somebody where they were talking about making something called Dogecoin a long time ago. So, uh, here we are. That'd be awesome, though. Like, because what if it's powered? What if the gas fees get turned into Dogecoin gas fees? So instead of paying with, EI, you start paying with Dogecoin to send, or you can have the option to use Dogecoin to send your Ethereum or etc. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
oh yeah, most certainly. I don't think it's going to end up being anything like that. I think the collaboration was honestly kind of more of just something to talk about more than anything. I don't think it will go anywhere necessarily, but I mean, I could easily be wrong.
Well, see, the reason why I think that it might go somewhere is because Vitalik was actually doing interviews about it. So, maybe it was just kind of like a hey, we're going to create Dosterium, you know what I'm saying? Or ETH Doge or something like that as a joke on Twitter. And then I think that it actually became like a real life thing, like what happened with the El Salvador thing. At first, it was just a Twitter idea about him, using geothermal Bitcoin or even somebody else. And that's how he got the idea and then turned around and made the geothermal Bitcoin his legal tender.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, who knows? We could most possibly see that take off.
Yeah, I think it's just something that we'll have to wait and see on. Looking over here at Cardano, they're trying to claw their way back. Um,
I
you
love
know,
Veda.
they were at $1.78 back on the 5th, and now they're clawing their way back up from $1.40 and are currently sitting at $1.60. So I mean, over the past 24 hours, they've had like a 20-cent gain. And I mean, that's I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I'd say that that's not bad when you look at it. I mean, we've seen them take much longer to gain, a lot less than 20 cents. So,
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, Ada's going to be great though. Because Cardano. All right. Since I have it pulled up, Cardano is a blockchain platform built on proof of stake. So that's amazing for one. Uh, they have their own. They don't have their own, but they use the Haskell programming language. Not that anybody, understands. Not that nobody is ignorant to that information, but Haskell programming language is a type of programming language that they chose to use. It's not like normal C++ and Java and stuff like that. So, I mean, Ada is great, man. I love Ada. They have great business partners. Um, it's the number 4 popularity on Coinbase. And the only reason why I'm looking at Coinbase because I had it pulled open. So, but I really like ADA. Their NFT marketplace is really taking off too. So ADA is a great coin. If anybody wants to invest, I definitely would not be mad if you took some money and put it into Cardano.
Yeah, I mean, I have some Cardano, of course. I have a pretty diverse portfolio when it comes to cryptocurrency. But
Yeah.
I think we're gonna notice the same kind of trend, generally speaking, when it comes to when it comes to crypto. I mean, uh, the only one that realistically that I've seen that's been more steady has been Dogecoin. Realistically, it's not as violent. Like it, for instance, if you look at Ethereum and then you look at Dogecoin, you can see that the seventh to where we're at right now are kind of similar, but then you'll notice that before that, it was just really flat.
Yeah, I mean Dogecoin is kind of becoming like a more stable investment. It's not as volatile as it was a month ago, where we were seeing it peak and then dropping and peak and then dropping and peak and then drop. I mean, it has a little slow climb ups here and there, But when I'm looking at the 1 hour, I mean, I see a nice little a rise on Doge. I don't see um, a downward trend. I see head and shoulders pattern right here. And there was a nice little teacup and saucer or a cup and handle right there before the head and shoulders. I just see good trends for Dogecoin, regardless if it's only trading in between 34 and 38 cents, I still see, or even 35 within the day, within the week, 44. That was great. If I would have to say anything, I would have to say that I am quite impressed with the way that Dogecoin is holding its place in the 30s.
Yeah.
It's a great coin. It's a great coin, man.
Oh
Like
yeah, I mean it's just we're sitting at a 39 or 33.9, and I mean I imagine that by tomorrow morning we'll probably be seeing it sit somewhere between 34 and 35.
Yeah, I think so too. Might even see 37, honestly. Who knows? We could see a Dogecoin breakout here real soon. As I'm looking at this article from decrypt.co, I guess the United States is Dogecoining the dollar. Federal Reserve is Dogecoining the US dollar. Representative Warren Davidson's co panelist at Bitcoin 2021. Cynthia Loomis referred to trillions of dollars in debt creation as anti American, so forth and so on. But it says the Fed is basically Dogecoining the US dollar, referring to the production of 10,000 new Doge roughly every minute. By contrast, only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be minted. We know this. So it sounds to me like they're not putting Dogecoin on the dollar, but it sounds to me like the paper dollar is going to be worthless here pretty soon. Um, because it sounds to me like they're trying to print like 10 million new dollars every minute, And if your money supply is going to be infinite in the paper dollar, but everybody's investing that paper dollar into cryptocurrency, I really don't feel that there's going to be a value on the paper dollar anymore.
You
And
talking
that the
about this article on the street? It says Warren Davidson compares the US dollar to Dogecoin.
yes, I think that's pretty well. I think it's pretty much this similar same article. This one that I was reading came from hold on, let me pull that back up. Decrypt.co. So, um, but yeah, it's talking about the same thing. Is that he's comparing the U.S. dollar to, which isn't a bad thing because how is everybody in the world, like I said before, supposed to pay for things if they can't afford to buy enough Bitcoin to pay? You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, you're gonna get, if you spend $28 on Bitcoin, you're gonna get $28 worth of Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong, right? But if you spend $28 on Dogecoin or, you know what I'm saying, other coins of that nature that are similar to Dogecoin that have an infinite, supply, I feel that you'll get more bang for your buck because if Dogecoin ever goes up, say you spend $40 on Dogecoin and now you're getting like, roughly right around like 70, okay, or something of that nature. And if it ever goes to $1, as opposed to having 40 for your $40 investment, now you got 70 you can spend, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel it's a little more better of an investment. It's not a bad investment. Bitcoin's not a bad investment either. You just gotta have money to play. That's all.
Yeah, when it comes to them, it's definitely wow.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't mind if I had 30 grand. Hell yeah, I would go buy a whole entire Bitcoin right now.
Oh no,
Don't
I
get
was I was talking about Gen Wealth over here. I was looking at that.
Yeah, let's not get into that one. let's just skip that one. I mean, we can talk about it if you want to. Obviously, it was kind of a rug, that specific coin itself, but they migrated to a new coin called Legacy Wealth Coin, which, I'm not against it, but why would you start one project, abandon it, and then go to another and expect people that you left hanging, instead of doing, a one for one on the balance, you left them kind of hanging and said that there was no one for one, and you still expected people to invest into the new project. That just is like a red flag to me. But if they were willing, and I seen in their Discord and on their Telegram that they were saying that they were trying to figure out a way to at least help get some of the money back to the people who lost out on Gen Wealth. So if they do that, that's cool. But at the same token, GWC was a rug in a sense.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that that ended up happening.
Yeah,
Um,
because it was a good project, and it had a lot of potential. There was a lot of good people behind it. I don't know exactly what happened behind the scenes. I'm not the one to speak. I'm not affiliated with the program or the project. Was only affiliated with somebody who was involved with the project, and I went into the Telegram the other day and then just seen all the negative talk and was like, "Whoa, what is going on in here?" And then I seen, they posted a PDF that stated, all the new changes and everything. But I also heard a couple of days after that PDF was released that they announced there was not going to be a one for one. So I was like, well, that's not a good look. So yeah, that happened. But other than that, there's a lot of great new projects coming out, man. I just got invested in this one. I think people should take a look at, and it's pretty good. I actually signed up for an airdrop, which they're trying to airdrop to like 1 million people in the world. It's called Hash Panda. So they're doing a free airdrop on their page, but they gave me a nice little chunk of coins, and it's actually got a nice little value to it. It's doing pretty good. They donate back to the Wildlife Foundation, just like my friends over at Panda Coin. Panda Coin is an original Panda Coin that has been around since 2013. So I'm not going to take any credit away from them. But Hash Panda seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, this Theta fuel, it apparently like ran up by like 70% or something like that from what I saw.
Theta Fuel? Never heard of it.
Yeah, neither had I. Yeah, it's ran up over the past 7 days. It's increased by 72.9%.
Hmm.
Market cap of what is that? 3 billion, 3.3.
Dang, son. That's pretty nice right there. I like that.
Solana has been on the up and up over the past 7 days. Um, Filecoin looks like they're trying to climb back up. I remember when Filecoin was like 30 some odd dollars, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna get any of that. And I had like thought about it, and like I thought about it for weeks. No lie, I had thought about it for weeks. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm gonna get it. No, no, I'm not gonna get it. And then, and then I can't remember. I was watching something or another on YouTube, and they were like, "Yeah," and then look at Filecoins, right? And it like ran up to like what was it, like $218 or something, like some crazy amount, and I was like, "Yep, should have bought one or bought some," but I was like, "Nope."
Yeah, I did that with a couple, man. I did that with a couple. There was a couple that I was looking at when I was first getting into Coinbase, and I completely freaking missed out on some of them, and I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." Because like you don't really like you look at a lot of these, right, and you're like, "Oh, it's not too bad," and you're like, I don't know nothing about it. You start looking into it, and then by the time you get done looking into it and finally get to make your decision, the coin's freaking mooning. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, frick, man, I missed my chance.
So this bakery token, apparently, it's not been doing so hot over the past 7 days.
Bakery token? Well, I've
Yeah,
never.
neither have I. I just happened to see it on there. I always like to see, like what's been running the best and what's been running the worst over the past 24 hours or the past 7 days.
And what website is this?
Oh, I'm just on a Coin Market Cap,
Oh, okay, cool.
but
That's
yeah,
what's up. That's sweet. I like the way. What is that? The night setting then that you got going on?
yeah. I always try to keep everything in dark mode.
Yeah, me too. I'm not even gonna lie.
But May
It's
2nd, it looks like it ran up to about $7.50, almost $8. It looks like, and now it's sitting at 3.19. So not doing so hot from last month.
no, no. It doesn't sound like it's doing that great. There is one coin though that I really um have been enjoying. It's called Hold HODL token, and that what they do is pretty cool, man. It's you get BNB by daily rewards, right? So as long as you hold tokens and then you go to their website, um, and most likely in your Trust wallet, then you go to the rewards calculator and it'll tell you how much you'll get once you connect your wallet. And so you can get daily BNB rewards by that token, and that thing's been climbing up pretty nice. On the one day, it's at 19.66% in the green, and in the 1 month, it's 660% in the green. So they're doing pretty good, man. It got $1,237,000 in 24-hour volume. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
Pretty nice.
I think it's really great how all these projects are popping up left and right, and unfortunately, yeah, some of them are rug pulls, but at the end of the day, it's pretty amazing how much things have changed, just in comparison to last year, right? Last year,
Yeah.
very few people knew about any kind of crypto whatsoever, even Bitcoin. Because even now, like with things going the way that they are now, there's still plenty of times that I'm on the street and I'll go to talk to somebody about cryptocurrency, and even then, there's a few people that even when I say Bitcoin, they still don't know what I'm talking about. That's very seldom, but most cases, when I ask about crypto, they don't know what I'm talking about. Then I refer to Bitcoin, and then they are like, "Oh yeah, I've heard about it," and then that's essentially the extent of their knowledge.
Yeah. That's pretty much the same with uh the friends that I have been friends with in the past, or my whole life. Like whenever I say crypto, they're like, "What?" Like I don't know. I was telling you before we got on here. Ooh, that the my ex girlfriend had messaged me talking about you to do my crypto for me because I need to make some money. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, like a lot of people don't really have big general understanding of what crypto is and um, like what projects they should invest in or what to look for. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
And what's really unfortunate is that there's been like there's been a lot of scams going on, like on YouTube for instance, where like you'll see it'll be like some fake live stream, right? Where people are stealing, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, uh and essentially that ended up making it to where Google ended up, being like, oh, well, you know what, we just think that this isn't, essentially good for the community, and so they're making it to where we can't have crypto-based ads anymore or something like that. But essentially, they're gonna basically they came out more like, yeah, we're no longer gonna be like publicly condoning crypto because of all these scams that have ended up going out. And what's funny is that like even though I've heard them say that, I still every now and again I'll see one of those ads pop up where it's just like it's Elon Musk talking, and it's like for some kind of Bitcoin thing, and I'm just like yeah. I think it's funny how this is still working out for you, even though you know even
yeah.
even though supposedly you're not supposed to be able to do this anymore. So
Right. Um, dude, I've encountered so many scams on YouTube though. Like where I'll go and Google something, right, and it'll be, oh, go to this YouTube channel for a airdrop, and it'll be like a foreigner just talking in a foreign language, and you can't understand it, and then all of a sudden it's like all the links you click on are spam or malware, or it's just crazy.
mhm.
So
Yeah, and
many
it's
people.
just it's the same thing like with with what's going on with all these ransomwares. They're putting it's just like essentially every time that we end up having ransomware come up into the subject, all of a sudden it's like, yep, that's what crypto is used for, and you're just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and it's a big misunderstanding everywhere because just because there's a couple scammers in the scene doesn't mean that every person who has cryptocurrency or uses cryptocurrency is involved in anything of that nature, you know? And they just kind of honeypot it and they'll just be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're going to just gonna ball them all in one big, giant bag. Anybody who's involved in cryptocurrency is in a scam, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people get scared because of that, and that's FUD, you know? And so I don't appreciate it when they spread the FUD. If they took the time out to understand what cryptocurrency is and how the blockchain worked, they probably wouldn't be saying that.
I mean, it just kind of depends because a lot of people, they full well understand exactly how it is that the blockchain works, and they just create that FUD just because they want to they want to get the price down lower so that way they can in turn collect more.
Yeah, true. Very true. Yeah, spreading negative information is going to drive a price down for sure.
It's just like everything that's going on with Tesla. You see what's going on with the stock with that, and like it doesn't even necessarily like it's such small things, right? Because there was no confirmation of information, but people just went with it anyways. And so,
Right.
first we had the, oh, there was the accident, and it was on autopilot, and it killed those two people, and it's just like, no, that's not the case. That's not what happened. Turns out that autopilot wasn't on. There was a person driving, so on and so forth. The fire didn't last that long. It actually, they got the fire out within 2 minutes and just waited around until the tow truck got there. And it's just like, and then you heard about like the crazy stuff going on in China where like supposedly some brakes had failed, and so somebody had gotten into a car accident, and so they went to like a car show or something like that and had like got up on top of like a Tesla and started to like screaming and yelling about how it was their fault that the brakes were no good and all this. And so Tesla was just like, oh, we would we'd like to take a closer look at your Tesla. And they essentially were like, oh, no, it's fine, you don't need to. On top of the fact that they came out and they're like, yeah, well, also it looks like from our data that your brakes are working just fine, which is why they were like, we'd like to bring your vehicle in to see what's going on with it. And then the actual owner was just like, oh, no, I'm fine. I don't need to. And it's just like, so it the news comes out with this bad material, and then the truth comes out about it later, but then it changes nothing as to how it affected it. You know what I'm saying?
That's because people believe the news over the truth nowadays. It's weird. At least it's just what it seems like. Not saying that's the truth and that's facts, but it's kind of what it seems like. It's like you could be the source, but if you're not the news, then you're not telling the truth. It's like whatever, man. Listen to the man who is behind the project, and that's where you'll get your truthful information from. Maybe not all the time, but you'll get most of the actual facts right from the horse's mouth, as opposed to a third party, so to speak, aka news company. Um, I think that's part of the plan, though. Is like to spread like a negative but a positive kind of thing, like a catch 22 type of deal. First, they don't want you to invest and they talk crap about it so that the prices go down, but then they turn around and invest. And then they're like, oh, yeah, you should probably invest. It's like, wait a second. But I just feel that we're going to be here in a pretty good spot in the next couple of coming weeks. Everybody's going to be making a decent, nice little profit probably. So I hope that we're going to have a bull run. in the next coming week, and I'm just ready to see where the future is going to take us.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like how we were talking in the last stream about how, you know, when it comes to the when it comes to the to the future with cryptocurrency, it's just something that's going to take a certain amount of time. And so, we're going to have to wait until we get all like these rug pulls and things like that. Essentially, we have to wait until regulation or accountability steps in and makes it to where you know it it's a safer environment, right? So like all these people that have done these rug pulls, most likely down the road, when events like that happen, they'll end up having they'll end up having some kind of accountability. Some of the ones that have happened over the past recent months. I mean, it's highly possible that uh, if someone can if they can figure out who the actual individual is, then you could end up seeing lawsuits going out to those direct individuals, and
Yeah,
because at the
definitely.
end of the day, you're still committing fraud, and then on top of that, you know, you have to think about the fact that you're not just it's not just like you're the type of fraud that you're committing or the illegal activity that you're doing, it's like on a national scale or sometimes even a worldwide scale. Some of these rug pulls, do you really think only people from their state invested in that, or you think people only from their country or their province invested in that? No. It was invested, across multiple states, across multiple countries, most likely. And so, with that, you end up, going into the whole like federal territory.
I definitely agree. I think that even as where we are right now with cryptocurrency, some of the people that have committed some of these rug pulls within the past month are actually probably going to be in trouble regardless, even if they don't continue to scam in the future. I feel that because those transactions that they committed um, and produced will never be deleted. So that's evidence forever. And I feel that once we have a decentralized application that allows people to interact with being able to see what companies are rugs, and not so much as like what war on rugs was, but like legit, where you can go to an application and see what companies are actually doxed, actually, transparent, and then also be able to see what companies are pretty much pulling rug pulls and which ones have. I think once we see that, then people will be a little less nervous to invest into newer projects.
Yeah, I think it's just all about accountability, right? I think there has to be like some, not necessarily regulation, but some kind of organization to try and make it to where, people can be held accountable for those type of things, right? Like at least something like you essentially have to do like some kind of registration. Like say you were making like some kind of token on Binance, like in order to like make the token, like you have to do some kind of registration that involves like uh your personal identity, right? So that way like, you can personally be held accountable if if you end up doing something like that. I don't know. It's just there something has to be done about it, right?
Yeah, and that's why I was saying once we see an application or a DApp come out of that nature, and expose these projects for um, all the information that they can, and give all the information as to who the project owners might be, or where who's involved with these projects, right? Once we see something of that nature, I feel that that's where that accountability would be able to come into play for some of these rugs that have already rugged, right? Because people got screenshots and got stories on all these people and who started coins and who didn't, right? So once that, I feel a platform like that comes out, people will be able to share their content there and uh, essentially try to call these people out, and get some accountability held to where one of my friends just messaged me earlier today talking about how he was rug pulled on a couple of different tokens he got invested in, and now he's out of capital. He has no money.
Mm.
Now, to me, that sucks really bad. That's terrible. And in a sense, if there was an application like what I was talking about, where he could go post, the information on what projects he was invested in, then, people could do their research and probably find out who owns these projects and get some accountability on some of these jerks, man.
Yeah, it's just, it's sad that, there's the few that ruin it for the many, right? And every time that something negative happens with cryptocurrency, it's just like for people that don't believe in cryptocurrency, it's just another validation, right? Oh, yep, look, yep, that another reason why you shouldn't have done that. It's just like, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, stuff like that can happen with stuff like that can happen with the US dollar as well. I mean, there's a reason why we have those things called pyramid schemes and what do they call it? Like multi-level marketing or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, yeah. Pyramid
So,
schemes. Yeah, trust me. I have my fair share of dealing with those guys too, man. So, and that's kind of what I was saying in this new blog that I wrote, on this website that I just created to expose rug pulls the other day on Wix. I stated that same exact thing. So, um, these people are going to be exposed, man, eventually, and people are going to get their money back. People are going to be able to prosecute, and we are going to see people be held accountable. It will happen, and it's just a matter of time. It's already going there. We're already doing stuff. They're already doing stuff in China where like you're getting caught on camera and they know exactly who you are. They can identify you just like that, right? So, obviously, the transaction hashes you won't be able to identify somebody by, but accountability is going to take place, and it's only a matter of time before we see people being in trouble for the scams that they pull. Like Dogeland, I know you remember Dogeland. That was one of the biggest scams on Dogecoin ever.
yeah, yeah. I was hearing a lot about that Earth 2. If you heard anything about that.
Earth 2?
Yeah, essentially it's like a digital platform um where like, it's like a one-to-one representation of Earth uh, to a very high detailed level and so on and so forth or whatever. But essentially, the people that made it were like, yeah, we determine what the prices are for for all the stuff in here, and we can change the prices whenever we feel like without warning or telling anyone, and then we can also just close out and end this whole thing without letting anyone know as well. And people still invested into it, and I was just like, wow. I was like, they came out and said they're like, yeah, we're just straight up gonna take your money. That's all that this is about. And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go and invest in that. And I'm just like, why would you even want to go and invest in something like that? And then like there's like one person that I guess has a portfolio of it, and he's essentially just gone super crazy with it because he's essentially just increasing the size of his portfolio by essentially like selling things that he doesn't actually have anymore or something. I don't know. He's doing something really weird to where basically it keeps enlarging his portfolio on the platform while taking other people's money with them getting the expectation that they're going to be buying something. And the guy is just nuts because he's like, I'm gonna give you advice on like how you're gonna 10x your money and all this, that, and another. And I was like, how has this guy like not been dinged? Like how is it that he has not been taken down? I was like, he straight up said that he's gonna tell people, I'm gonna give you advice on how to 10x your money, like guaranteed. And then I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, you can't do that. I promise you're not a financial advisor. I can almost guarantee it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of those people that make those YouTube videos. This is how you 10x your money. This is how you 100x your money. It's almost like 7-minute ab workout, 8-minute ab workout, 9-minute ab workout. Like those. When I was a kid, there was a bunch of different ab workouts that came out, and every time somebody tried to compete with those, they would come out with like a 1 minute faster. So I think the first one was like 9 minutes or something, and then it got all the way down to like 4 minute workout. It's like, okay, all right, guys, we've had enough minute ab workouts. Time to move on to something new. And
Right.
so that's kind of essentially what that's like.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered most of the stuff that we were going to talk about. So unless there was anything else that you wanted to talk about before we close out the show.
Just besides the fact of the matter that to all you folks who are tuning in, if you do tune in or happen to watch this, we do have a Feg token giveaway going on my page on Revolt Tyranny on Twitter. So if you're interested in trying your luck in that, go ahead. 10 million Feg token, a few stipulations. Check it out. Crypto Invest TV is here to stay, baby.
All right, well, you've heard it. So we will see you guys next time. Have a great one.